Hello.
Welcome to Tiafo Garage, where we try it and find out. On this channel, we feature DIY on some classic cars. We also chronicle the classic car ownership experience here in the San Francisco Bay Area in California.
Tiafo Garage.
Now we are going to change the transmission fluid and also that reverse light sensor switch on our 72 911S here. So first step is to take it for a quick drive, warm up the transmission fluid, and then we'll put it up on the lift, get the old fluid out and new fluid in. Got the fill bolt there and the drain bolt there, and on my car they're both 19 millimeter sockets. I think they're internal hex on some. So anyway, we want to make sure we can get this one off. I have had situations on the Dino where I had a hell of a time getting one of the plugs out. So you want to make sure you can fill it before you drain it. So that's what I'm going to do here. And the other thing I did check was that the reverse light switch is working. Because that's one of the things I'm going to do here after I drain it is replace the reverse light switch. So we'll get our socket on. I think this is, I don't know what that goes to. That's the clutch, it looks like. Yeah, that's coming off no problem. Always nice. So there should be no oil. Well, it's warm, so there might be some, but I think there'll be no oil coming out here. The other thing is to make sure you have those crush washers. Ooh, oh, there is a little bit of oil. Okay. So I'm just gonna put the fill plug back in because there's no reason to wait for it to drip out since I'll be draining it from the bottom. I'm just gonna put it loosely here since we'll have to take it out again. Okay, now we will undo the drain plug for the transmission. All right, that looks a little more used. It's the same fluid, so I think just because it's thicker. But I'm actually happy to see that because I don't want this to be for naught. And this guy, I don't know if the other one had a magnetic plug or not, but it was completely clear. This one does have some, you can see that metal filled in there in the magnetic plug, so I'll get a Q-tip and clear that out. Let's take a closer look at the plug here. It's very soft, almost paste-like metal particles. This is a little more than was in the engine plug, but I don't see any metal chips. It's just, you know, sort of like tiny metal particles. So I'm not worried, and you know, if other things happen, we'll deal with it. The other thing is, I'm not sure when this was last done. I was looking at the records for the car, and I could not find the last transmission fluid change. Doesn't mean it wasn't done. They've done a lot of stuff to the car over the years. But anyway, I didn't see any explicit record of the last time the transmission fluid was changed. So I am hoping that this helps us in the feel of the transmission, because especially when it was warm, having some trouble in getting into reverse in particular, and I'll say first a little bit. So I'm hoping this will improve that. I'm just using the towel here to clean the last of it here. Make sure it's pretty. It doesn't need to be perfect because, of course, you know, it'll fill up again, but I'll get a little more out, but you get the idea. We are now nice and clean, so we'll go and fill the plug. It's done draining, so that's good. Put the plug back and then check out the reverse switch. Here is the reverse switch. I didn't show you where we are. I guess I can do that. On the bottom of the car here, oriented. There's the exhaust, there's the transmission, and we are here. So this guy, that's a rubber shroud around the reverse switch. reverse light switch, I believe it is. I've got a new one here. See that? Here it is. I need to make sure that plug like matches what's behind that rubber thing, and then I'll make sure I can get it out. I read somewhere that there's not enough room clearance, you know, to back it up. Looks like there's enough, but anyway, let us see. So I'm gonna peel away. Oh, and it came with its own little crush washer too, which is nice. So I'm assuming that, you know, this goes like this with a crush washer on it, and we'll be in business. Okay. Yep. You can see all the, it's literally dripping. That's what filled my drip pan that was protecting the Dino when the Porsche was on top. And the plug looks to be right. Yeah, that's it. Okay, well, easy enough. Just a little nail bullet looking thing. And look at that, this one is the one that's leaking. That's clearly leaking through the connector into that, where that plug plugged in. So this should fix the leak, which is good news. It's a 22 millimeter. Luckily I've got one that's great. Whew, I thought it was fighting me there for a bit, but it already broke free. And I can already get it out by my hand. You can see. Let it roll. Let's see if it leaks. Or not leaks. Let's see if anything drips out here. Oh, a little bit. That was anticlimactic. This is about as satisfying a job as possible when, and I shouldn't jinx myself, but it's just going so smoothly and it's taking care of a thing that's, you know, rather annoying with the leak. So, which was not a tiny leak. Two. Okay. I just thought I'd show how this works. So here's the horrible lighting. Here's the reverse switch, and there's a little, looks like there's a little plunger in there that when you push it, closes the circuit. So when you put it into reverse, it must put a pin in that little hole that closes the circuit between the wires and turns on the reverse light. So in terms of how to fill it and with what and how much, this is the stuff. Apparently everybody uses it. It's good for the high angle head point gears in our 915 transmission here, including the limited slip that this one has. We have a pump down here. It's like a hand pump. You want to kind of keep it clean. It's in that plastic bag for that reason. We will fill it in that same hole that we started with here, this one. And you actually fill it until it just starts dripping out. That's the level when it's cold. You saw when it was hot, it was actually above that level. So let's get to it. Okay, finally, we're definitely full. For those wondering, one of these is plenty. There's about 15-20% left over. Okay, everything is back together. I'm just gonna check to make sure the reverse lights still work, and then we'll take it for a little test drive and get to go with the Porsche transmission fluid change. I have the ignition key on, and it's not in reverse. No lights are on, so we'll try popping it in reverse here. It went easily. That's a good sign. And the lights are on, so we are in business. Beautiful. Great news, the Porsche is shifting great. I'd say better than it ever has. More easy into first, more easy into reverse. Still not like a brand new car, but certainly less bulky. So success, and all in a couple hours. So that's unusual for everything to go that smoothly. So here's to a great Tiafo day. We spoke a little too soon on calling success on our reverse switch. What's happening now is when I put it in reverse, the reverse lights come on for a bit, and then the fuse that is wired to the reverse lights and the blinkers, as it turns out, blows. So I think what's probably happened is the wires that go to the reverse light sensor that we replaced are have maybe a small crack in the insulation or something and are grounding somewhere in the loop. So we're now going to try to hunt that down. We have a Possum under the Dino. What's going on? Hello. I have to conclude the Possum ran out the door and under the fence. It started to pick up speed there, and when I lost visual of it with the camera. But yeah, that was exciting. I just wanted to move the Dino in. A final epilogue in the Porsche reverse light situation. The short that I had that I thought was maybe the wires or whatever actually turned out to be the new part that I had installed, which doesn't leak, but I had to troubleshoot it. There's those pins now short to ground, so every time I went into reverse, it would short the fuse for the reverse light, which is also tied to the blinkers. So I have it unplugged. This one was the cheapest one they had on Pelican Parts. I think it was, I don't know, 40 bucks. So I went mid-grade now. This is the $60 one. They give me my money back, but so I'm gonna try this one. So if you're doing this, don't buy the cheapest one. It apparently could fail. Reverse with blinkers. It's a beautiful thing. Another day at Tiafo Garage. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you enjoy this type of content, please do like, share, and subscribe. It will help the channel, and we will see you next time on Tiafo Garage.